Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new IDontWorkHereLady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first story is titled, Smart Ass Me Deals with a Rude Karen. I was shopping at the Big Blue store famous for their selection of Karens when I passed by this sweet little old lady. She asked me to grab a case of soda off of the top shelf. This is nothing new because I am 6 feet 6 inches, and people ask me a lot to do stuff like this. I also live life by the golden rule you are taught as a child: treat those how you want to be treated. I got the soda for the sweet old lady, and asked her if she needed any more help. She declined and thanked me, so I started to walk away to grab the other things on my list. As I was walking down the aisle looking at my list trying to decide where I should head next, I heard 2 words shouted at presumably me. You. Boy. I look up and see this abomination of a Karen sneering at me. She had the classic haircut, probably weighed more than me as an already overweight super tall giant, in leopard print leggings and a shirt that was being tortured by being worn by someone who was most likely 3 sizes too big for it. She had only said 2 words to me, and I already didn't like her. Remember how I said I live by the golden rule? Well, that works both ways, and since she was rude out of the gate, that must mean she wants to be treated rudely also. I just wasn't exactly sure how to be rude to her yet. Get that soda off the top shelf for me now. I'm in a hurry. She said to me while her volume was turned up to 11. So I said, as a smart ass, I don't work here. If you want me to help you, I'm gonna need to hear a please first. She shrieked, obviously you work here, I just saw you help that other idiot. Wow. Just wow. Now she insulted that sweet old lady, after being rude to me. Then I decided what I would do, based entirely off of what would be the funniest thing to do. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, which soda did you want again? She pointed aggressively at a case of Fresca on the very top shelf. I grabbed the case off the shelf, and went to hand it to her. She muttered, finally. Right before she grabbed it from me, I quickly put it back on the top shelf, and without looking at her, just slowly walked away to do the rest of my shopping. She shrieked a bit about finding my manager and getting me fired, but I was just giggling to myself. I ended up taking my sweet time shopping, hoping she would show up with a manager, just so she would embarrass herself more, but I never saw her again. I wonder how her family reacted to hearing the story of the rude idiot Walmart employee she encountered that day. The next story is titled, No Ma'am I'm Not a Valet. This happened to me yesterday when I was at work at my security job. No ma'am I'm not a valet. I'm new to this, so I hope I do this right. Story, okay, this just happened to me yesterday. I work as security at one of our gated communities here in Florida on the beach. My duties include watching over the pool via camera, answering the phone and checking visitors and contractors into the community. Our uniforms consists of black or grey pants, and white shirts, but I wear grey shirts because I'm the supervisor. There is nothing on my uniform that says valet. Well, yesterday I was in my office doing my work and this lady comes in, and while I'm getting her information so I can make her permit, she says, okay, so you get my permit, and then you park the car? I correct her and say, no ma'am, I'm not a valet, I'm security. I only need to make you a permit, and once you get it you can park your car. And then I explain where to park. She then asks me why I can't park it for her, and her friend that she was there to visit told her that I wasn't a valet and that we didn't have valet parking here. This lady then stated that I should do my job and park her car. I then told her that it's not my job and that she needed to move her car as a line was backed up. She got in her car and sped off and almost hit someone, so she ended up being asked to leave. Some people are just so ignorant and entitled, it's just scary. The next story is titled, That's Not What Furniture Covers Are For. I've been enjoying this sub during lockdown, sometimes reading it and sometimes listening to it on a YouTube channel. It was my late mum's birthday yesterday, may she rest in peace. She died in 1998, and I remember this story she told, and thought, you know, I could give something back to this community by sharing it. It didn't actually occur in the business in question, but I hope it more or less fits this sub. When my mum was not long married, perhaps in the 1940s or 50s, she was at home one morning when the phone rang. My mum answered the phone as she taught us to answer it, by stating the phone number and saying, "Who's calling, please?" The caller, a posh and angry-sounding woman, gave her name and, unasked, her address in a very well-heeled part of the city, and the conversation continued something like this. Caller. Your man has not arrived yet. It's not good enough. When will he get here? Mum, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Caller. Oh, for pity's sake, girl. The decorator. He was supposed to be here half an hour ago. Mum, I'm sorry, you must have the wrong number. This is a private home. What number did you call? Caller. Don't ask me impertinent questions. I know very well that is name of house decorating company. Stop stalling, you stupid girl, and just tell me when he will get here. Or send someone else at once. Mum, I'm sorry but this really is. Caller. I'm sitting here with my covers on. Mum, then I hope they keep you warm. And Mum hung up. Rest in peace, Mum. The next story is titled, Wild Karen Thinks I Work in IT and Causes My Breasts to Pop Out in a Busy Store. My username may look like a 12-year-old boy made it, but I'm a 20F. Just to stop the confusion here, I posted this in a different thread but was told it belongs here. BF 18 meters. Karen early 40s. I was shopping today in Iowa for the first time. I live in Chicago but I'm staying with my BF until people start having some common sense again in my city. I have an Asian accent mixed with a little French, and I was talking to my BF when a wild Karen grabbed the back of my shirt. She pulled so I would be face to face with her, but my breasts flew out of my shirt in the process because she pulled on my binding cloth that I use on my breasts. The breasts that are my size are very expensive, so I started binding them because it's much cheaper and I can move around more with it. She loosened the cloth and ruined it. I had an angry Karen yelling at me for being indecent, and she also said, now you have to fix my computer for free because you scared my son with those things. She thought I worked in IT because I look Asian, even though I have a tattoo on my arm that says, The Asian Mechanic, in bold lettering. The store only sold food, so I don't know how she got the thought. Once my BF noticed my breasts were hanging out, he took off his shirt and put it over my chest and then started yelling at Karen about how stupid she was. Imagine having kid that looks to be in his mid-20s with scars all over his body, yelling at a woman that is around a foot shorter than him. This happened in the span of less than 1 minute and I'm still trying to comprehend what has happened. I'm still shaking a bit from it. If there are any spelling, grammar errors or questions, please comment them so I can answer them. The next story is titled, Lady I'm Off the Clock. The one thing I hate about Karens is that they don't have a concept of off the clock. On a semi-regular basis, I will be at work shopping once I am done for the day. On these days I will bring a shirt with me and change so I am no longer in uniform while shopping. However, there are some great customers who just don't care I'm not in uniform and am pushing a cart full of stuff or carrying a basket and still ask for help. Now the majority of people are nice about it and so I don't mind helping them. However, occasionally I'll get someone who recognizes I am an employee and gets all offended that even though I am not wearing our shirt I did not jump to help them. Then gets in my business complaining about how disrespectful I am. To which I reply, I am clearly not on the clock, it is not my job to help you right now, and had you not been so rude I would have helped you. If you're having such a hard time, go to the register and the cashier will get someone to help you. The next story is titled, Your Shirt Said Staff on It So one day about over a year ago I was at Fred Meyer looking for athletic pants. I worked a split shift job at the time, so I was doing this before having to go to my afternoon shift at work. My work uniform was a bright colored t-shirt. On this day I was wearing a very bright blue shirt that had the company logo on the front and back. Both sides also said staff on it. This was complete with my name tag that had my name and company logo, keycard with logo, and lanyard with logos up and down. It was very obvious that I worked for this company. I was also wearing denim shorts and tennis shoes. Fred Meyer's uniform on the other hand was a black polo with a black apron that had the name in bright red stitching on the front. Also they wear long pants. Not so sure about the shoes. I never paid attention. But very different from my work clothes. While I was walking to the cash register a lady said, "Excuse me," I turned around and said, yes? Lady, I was wondering if you can please unlock the fitting rooms? Me, I don't work here. Lady, oh. Your shirt said staff. So I thought you did. Me, I mean this is my work shirt but I work at childcare company. She walked off to go find an actual employee, while I stood there just looking kind of confused. Not very exciting, but thought I would share. The next story is titled, You Don't Even Care About Customers. I had just gotten off work at the local hospital and was looking for leave-in conditioner at the nearby big store that killed all the mum-and-pop shops, you know the one. Smelling different products, reading labels, Slav squatting on the floor. Up rolls Sharon on a scooter, older, less physically mobile version of Karen. Sharon, where's the price on this thing? Why don't you people do this better so people can see? It took me a second to realize she was asking me. I look up. Sharon, oh forget it. You probably don't even care about your customers. At that point I stood up, clearly wearing a full set of hospital scrubs, like, why would you think I work here? Cocked my head to the side and said, you're right, ma'am. I sure don't. And walked off. WTF. What about my clothing, posture, actions lead this woman to even remotely think I was working retail? I'd have to be the crappiest employee, basically hiding and not doing my job, or wearing my uniform. Funny thing is that I worked retail during undergrad and I cannot stand a holes like this lady. If she were my patient or in a medical emergency, I would do everything in my scope to help her, but that ain't it, chief. It felt good to let her know not everyone gives a duck what she thinks she needs in this setting. The next story is titled, I Don't Work Here I Just Like Action Figures, cast me, confused lady. So some backstory, I was about 12, Oregon 13, I loved toys of any kind of superhero or TV show, I still do, I knew everything about them so I would frequently go to toy stores to look for stuff like that. So here's where it began. I was at a toy store in my local mall looking at some action figures when I hear Elle trying to figure out which toy her daughter wanted. I was in the same aisle so I asked if she needs help, so I help her find what she was looking for, and she was grateful and said she was glad someone working there knew their stuff, so I told her I didn't work there and she was surprised that I was just willing to help. The next story is titled, Brown Boy at a 7-Eleven buying Krispy Kreme, I must work here right? This happened a couple of years ago but I just found this sub. I was 17, and as stated in Brown. That's important because of the stereotype that brown people work at convenience stores and in particular 7-Eleven. Now in Australia, 7-Eleven sell Krispy Kreme donuts, and my brother and I went to go get a 4-pack of original glazed OFC. That's the best one. He parks and I go to get it, it's like 9 p.m. There's this sketchy guy who is high as duck getting a cough from the machine right near where the donuts are kept, so I walk past him to get me a 4-pack of OG. I'm zoned out, so I'm startled when I get a tap on the shoulder and this red-eyed dude is looking at me and is like, did you not hear me? I'd like to get a 4-pack please. I'm confused as duck but also a little scared. At night we get sketchy people in our area, so I just grab him one and go to pay. No, there's nobody on the counter, and so I'm on my phone waiting. And all I hear is, are you going to stand there on your ducking phone or are you going to serve me? I look up confused. I'm wearing a childish Gambino hoodie and shorts, clearly not working here. Why would I serve him? I was lining up to buy it too. It then clicked to me that he assumed I worked here because I was brown. And I was like, nah dude, I don't work here. As I was saying this, the employee on duty came by and served me, to which this high MF was like, does he not work here? And the employee, who was brown, was super confused and was like, no. He does not. As you can see by my uniform, which he is not wearing, he does not work here. He apologized and I left and told my brother the story, to which we laughed. Next day at school I told them the story and it was on my Facebook to give a laugh, but a lot of my friends were shocked that had happened. It wasn't mine or my brother's first racial stereotyping, and if you don't laugh then it hurts. The next story is titled, I Can't Fix a Fence I Don't Own. A few years ago, I was walking my dog past a rowboat club place where they do races and lessons. Sometimes for events, the parking lot gets pretty full, and it was one of those days. As I walked past the parking lot, an angry gentleman got my attention. Disgruntled rowboat boomer, you really need to fix that fence, it's been like that for 6 months. He gestures to the fence between the rowing club and the house next door, which is broken and has fallen across part of the parking lot. Me, confused but trying to be sympathetic, I'm sorry, I don't work here. Him, I know that. But that's your fence, so you need to fix it. Listen, I know it broke because of all that heavy snow we got this winter, but it's been 6 months. It's taking up 2, maybe 3 parking spots. Me, oh that's not my house either. He scowls in utter disbelief. What do you mean, that's not your house? Me, I'm just walking my dog, I live half a mile away. Him, I've seen you around there. It's not that hard, you pick up a phone book, you look up fence repair, it's absolutely ridiculous, every time I come here it's a giant pain in my ass to find parking. Me, that's really annoying but I don't live there so I can't help you. Him, well she's your neighbor then, can't you tell her to fix her goddamn fence? Me, she's not really my neighbor, like I said I live half a mile away. Him, but you talk to her. I saw you talk to her. This has been going on for 6 months and nothing's changed. I realized he just wanted to yell at somebody so I finally walked away. I wished I threw his phone book comment at him and told him he should look up any random person and yell at them instead, they have just as much to do with this as me. The next story is titled Garden Center, I Do Not. Had a landscaping morning Saturday, and had to run out to the garden center for a few items before stopping for the afternoon. At the store, I must have looked the part, wearing cargo shorts, boonie hat, work boots, and a neck gaiter as a mouth covering. It's a "this guy landscapes" sort of ensemble. I'm walking with a purpose, and my items are at far ends of the store. A woman and teen son stand in the middle of the patio furniture, staring lasers into me as I hustled from weed killer to plant stakes. As I approached, she said, "Finally, we've been waiting forever." I didn't break stride, as she said, "Are you going to help us? Don't you work here?" I gave them a succinct "I do not" without stopping. 10 steps passed and I hear her say, "What does he mean, I do not?" to her son. Not much of an interaction, I know, but how can someone not understand, I do not? It gets to the point. I feel bad for that kid. The next story is titled, I Am Not a Bouncer and I Didn't Steal Your Money, cast for this tale. Me, hi Phil, my friend who reminded me about this story DG1 to 6 a group of drunk girls in a who made a small mistake but couldn't get past it bouncer, big fella, not too bright though manager, nice bloke sorts it all out. Here we go. The language is as best as I remember but I had been drinking so exact words are going to be a stretch. A few years ago, I was hanging around drinking outside a bar in Manchester with my friend Phil. My friend smokes but I don't, you mostly need to go outside to designated smoking areas to smoke the UK. As I'm stood there talking to my friend, admittedly quite near the door to the bar, a small group of very drunk girls gathers in front of me. I don't really notice for a few moments as I'm talking but after a short while I pick up that there is a little crowd stumbling about in front of me and they are looking a bit agitated, lots of huffing and tutting. I looked over them briefly and noticed they were all carbon copy blondes with the same haircut, not a Karen cut sadly, mid-30s, similar black outfits, very short dresses, all quite overweight, no judgment just an observation, and all drunk like it was their first time out on the town. The only thing separating them was the level of fake tan they had gone for. It ranged from orange to a kind of mahogany color. I am oblivious to why they are standing there or who they might think I am at this point but I assume I am in the way a little bit so I move to the side away from the door and they start to enter the bar with a few slurred variations of "finally" and F******** useless. It seems obvious now that they thought I was the bouncer, doorman who had to let them in, but at the time I just thought I must have been in their way a bit. There didn't seem to be a bouncer as it was a quiet night so an easy mistake to make. I should also mention it was cold and rainy in Manchester, it usually is, so I was wearing a big coat. It was dark in color but wasn't the usual bouncer uniform of black coat with SEER identification on the sleeves. SEER is Security Industry Authority if memory serves. I actually did work door security for a couple of years at student bars and clubs in the past so I know a little bit of this but that was years ago. Most bouncers tend to be quite big guys as it's a physical job when crap goes down with fighting and such and I'm in that category because of my height and build. A few minutes pass and 4 of the girls stumble out of the bar again and make a beeline right for me. I wasn't as close to the door anymore, but I was still outside with my friend. The leader of this gaggle was massively drunk and had obviously been elected as that night's spokesperson. She will be DG1. She did most of the speaking, slurring and the rest mostly just said supportive things to back her up and swore. DG1, you need to come on and save my friends. Me, oblivious, sorry what? DG1, come on they're in trouble. Grabs my arm which surprised me a bit. Me, still oblivious, who's in trouble? I also pull my arm away which seems to annoy her. DG1, come with me now. My friends are being attacked. Grabs my arm again. Phil, you better go sounds important. He was laughing as he had figured out the problem already. Me, okay, confused as I still don't get it, but I was just drunk enough to think they might be trying to be funny or pick me up or something. DG1, finally, quick. DG2 plus 3 plus 4, yeah. Hurry. She leads me into the bar and up to a sort of dance floor area where the other two girls are dancing with and kissing two guys. I'm still a bit confused why I'm here and now notice that DGs 1 to 4 are staring at me expectantly. Me, still confused, so what am I doing here? DG1, shouting over the music, kick those guys out of here, they are attacking my friends. Me, seems like they are okay to me, why did you drag me here? DG1, we are on a girls' night and these guys aren't even with us. DG1-4, yeah, we don't even know them. Me, okay, but why would I need to be involved? DG1, upping the drama a bit, they are being assaulted and you just want to F*******ing watch? Me, no, I don't really care. I'm going back outside now. I turn to walk out, DG1 shrieks something sweary at me and tries to slap me in the face, she misses, spins and hits the floor. I am walking away and out now, and when I turn, having taken the few steps to get back to the door, DG1 is stumbling to her feet and struggling a bit. I walk outside and hope that's all the weirdness I'll have tonight. I find Phil, who is laughing at me having watched the drama from the door. Phil, you're not free yet, I think you're in trouble now, motions toward the door. The four girls have found a real bouncer who must have been inside and are pointing me out looking furious. They come over and they are halfway through their version of the story to the real bouncer. DG1, that's the one, that's the bouncer who refused to fing help us and then knocked me over. He needs to be fing sacked. Bouncer, this guy? Pointing to me. Me, things suddenly clicking in my brain, wait. Bouncer? Do you think I'm a bouncer? DG1, yes you, of course, you let us in. Bouncer, he doesn't work here. DG1, yes, he does, don't you even know each other? Me, no, I don't work here, I'm stood here with a pint in my hands. Why do you think I work here? DG1, you're dressed as a bouncer and you let us in. Me, by wearing a dark jacket? I didn't let you in, I just moved out of your way when you went in. DG1, you came inside with us to sort out those guys, why would you do that if you don't work here? Me, you didn't give me much time to think, before I knew it, you'd grabbed me and pulled me inside. Bouncer, hang on, I'm a bit lost. Me, look, he's the bouncer, black jacket, security information on his sleeve and he's got the radio and all that. Look at me, I'm just stood here with a beer in my hand. DG1, F******, this I don't care what you are, but you pushed me to the ground and took my money, doubling down a little now as I presume she thought this would help her. Me, I never touched you. I left after you pointed out some people kissing and you tried to slap me, missed and fell over. What money are you talking about? Thought the mention of money was a bit random. DG1, we paid you to get in, they obviously didn't, it wasn't even a bar you paid to get in. Bouncer, looks very lost but seems to be getting an idea that he better react soon, so you hit her and took money off her. Me, no, none of this happened, I think this lot are a bit drunk. DG1-4, all chime in with various, yes he did, he King hit her and stole her purse, again another fun little addition. Bouncer, right, give the purse back. Me, what purse? I don't have a purse, this is all crap. Bouncer speaks into the radio and another bouncer has now showed up, he says he's going to look at the cameras and see what's what. I'm lucky it was a relatively quiet night, as normally I think I'd have just been kicked out of the place just to stop the drama and save time, but as it was slow, they decided to investigate. The DGs have all started getting a bit hysterical now they have the real bouncers, and the story has been embellished to include me taking money off them at the door to let them in. Which they want back, of course, the fact I apparently gave this poor girl a bit of a kicking and I was supporting the guys who were trying to assault their friends. It takes a few minutes, but just as they are whipping themselves up into a frenzy, the bar manager comes out and asks me if I'll go inside to speak to him. I just want to go home now, but as it will get me away from the screeching, I agree. I instantly regret it as I get shepherded into the back of the bar to the little room the security guys use. I assume I'm going to get a kicking, but the manager gets the second bouncer to show me the two clips on the security screen. The first one shows me vaguely moving out of the way when they go in the bar, definitely not taking any money, and the second shows me inside the bar talking briefly to DG1, her going to slap me and tripping herself up. We have a little laugh and they say I'm fine. I say I'm going to go, but they suggest if the woman calls the police it might be better if I hang around so it can be sorted with this evidence. Apparently, it's quite common for people to lose things like purses and try to blame others in pubs. I ask what they are going to do with the group of girls, and they say they are going to be asked to leave. We go back outside, and the girls are still going on about what I apparently did. When the manager asks them to leave, they go really mad for a few seconds protesting. Manager, I've looked at the CCTV and this guy didn't do anything. You actually tried to hit him. DG1, I never, he F*** king slapped me and stole my ducking purse. I'm calling the police. Manager, well feel free, but as I said I've got the footage so you will make yourself look a bit silly. DG1, no I won't, I bet you do this all the time, rob people and share the money. Bouncer, you've been asked to leave so please go. DG1, I'm not going until he gives me my purse back. Me, I don't have it, are you sure you didn't drop it when you fell over? I did smirk a bit here which may have been an error. DG1, you smarmy little C***T. She launches herself at me but the bouncer with reflexes like a cheetah manages to catch her in midair and holds her there. This was no mean feat as she was a pretty large girl. She starts kicking and screaming but it doesn't seem to trouble him too much. He holds her there for a few seconds as she runs out of steam. DGs 2 through 4 slowly seem to realize it isn't going to work and quieten down and seem to sink back a bit to get away. As DG1 catches her breath, the two girls, 5 plus 6, who had been inside and really hadn't been involved to this point come out of the bar arm in arm with the two guys. DG5, hi Karen, not her real name of course, it was actually Chantel or something chavy. We've bumped into our fellas, so we are heading home, have a good night. Oh, by the way, here's the purse you asked me to hold. They hand over the purse which she takes very sheepishly and DG5 and DG6 leave with the guys. The remaining girls have all but disappeared now and it appears the show is over. Bouncer releases DG1 and again asks them to leave. They seem a bit defeated and slink away apart from DG1 who is hanging back a bit. She turns to me and looks at me for a second. I was expecting an apology for the misunderstanding or a final F***ku, but she actually says to me, DG1, will we get in next week? Me, sorry? What do you mean? DG1, we aren't barred, are we? Bouncer and Manger look at each other and shake their heads a little, not quite sure why she still thinks I work there. Me, seizing an opportunity, I'm afraid, your friends can come back anytime though. Manager, deciding it's easier to go with me on this one now. Yes that's right, I'm afraid we can't have people assaulting the staff. If you leave now, we won't call the police. She then joins the rest of her troop and they dejectedly walk away and leave the smoking area and the bar with a bit of muttering. Bouncer, looking a bit confused, so hang on, do you work here or not? Me, no, sorry mate, just stood at the wrong place at the wrong time. I was just taking the piss out of her at the end. Bouncer, okay, so how come she's barred? Manager, don't worry about it, just get a picture of the video and put her on the wall of shame. Presume this was how they tracked the troublemakers. Right, all sorted, talking to me now, can I get you a drink for all the trouble? Me, better not boss, not while I'm working. Cue a wry smile from the manager and a little bit of laughter from the few people who had gathered around and had picked up on what was going on. Sadly, everyone didn't stop and clap, but it was enough for me. Phil and I got a free round of drinks out of it and I still go to that bar every now and then to this day. Wow, that was really long in the end. I never could figure out why they wanted the friends' boyfriends to be kicked out. Presume it was just because a girl's night out is sacred and they didn't like the intrusion, but this seems extreme. Thanks for reading and sorry it didn't end with the police called and a Karen or group of Karens all getting carted off to the cells. Have a great day everyone. As I said, I've got a few of these. If people are keen, I can add some more when I get time. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comment.